Who got my back? I got your back. We got each other's back. Yay.
Now, y'all are my partner. Who got my back?
I got your back.
Who got my back?
We got your back. Who's got my back?
I was waiting. This is what 15, 16 years as an educator will do to you, okay? All right? So thank you again for having me. My name is Lajas. I'm originally from the Caribbean island of Manhattan, which is specifically Washington Heights, okay? I've been in Houston now for about 3 years with my family, down in the Fort Bend County area. I am a proud brother and the director of social action for our international illustrious organization known as Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Congressman John Lewis is also an esteemed and honored and revered member of our fraternity, of our organization. Okay, and so you see me in my royal blue today honoring the life and the legacy of Congressman John Lewis. But, thank you. Okay, now there are many other organizations as part of our National Pan-Hellenic Council, the Divine Nine as we would like to call them, fraternities and sororities. However, there's only one constitutionally bound organization, fraternity and sorority, and that's Phi Beta Sigma along with Zeta Phi Beta. And we like to pride ourselves as being, out of all of our other organizations, what we like to say like the grassroots organization, right? Everybody has a distinct character and identity, but we move in the spirit of those like President Kwame Nkrumah, first president of Ghana, who's a brother of Phi Beta Sigma. We move in the honor and the spirit of President Nnamdi Azikiwe, first president of Nigeria. We move in the honor and the spirit of James Weldon Johnson, right? Of Congressman John Lewis. These are movers and shakers that got into, well, what'd they get into, y'all? What'd they get into?
Good trouble.
Yeah, they got into good trouble. Look, I bring my kids with me everywhere, all right? They're back here, all right? And I do that on purpose. So I want to know, because y'all look like a bunch of aunties and uncles and parents and grandparents, did y'all bring y'all kids with y'all?
No.
I
was gonna.
Where they at? Where? Okay, awesome. Okay, who else? Who brought theirs with them? Okay, awesome. The reason why I'm saying this is because James Baldwin once said, children historically have never been good at listening to their elders, but they never fail to imitate them. I'm going to let that sit for just 5 seconds. Children historically have never been good at listening to the adults, but they never fail to what?
Imitate.
So if we continue to be going around the block on the same issues, that means that those of us that are in leadership positions, those of us that are in the eldership positions, we can get into enough good trouble. Because the children keep talking about the same issues and topics that we've been talking about, right? And if we keep showing up to these events, right now, they're not necessarily up here speaking with me or engaged, but they know that I'm down right now to get into some good trouble. Right? And in a minute, they're going to ask me to go play at the playground, and I'm going to say, good, go over there, right? Don't get into any trouble, right? But like I used to tell my students, right, if we getting into trouble, we getting into what?
Good trouble.
Right? And so it's really important that when we honor the life and the legacy of Congressman John Lewis, that we're not just talking about what good trouble is. We need to be modeling it. We need to be actively engaged in what getting into good trouble looks like, right? So we're going to identify a cause, whether that's education, whether that's voting rights and voter restriction, right? Because good trouble is in essence the epitome of any social justice movement in the history of the world, right? It's those of us who have decided to say, look, here's the issue, here's what I can say about it. This is what we're going to do about it, right? And what we do, those action, right, that social action, that social justice, that civic engagement, that's the good trouble that we really want to be getting into, right? And so the brothers of the Fort Bend County chapter, Zeta Psi Sigma, my chapter down in Fort Bend, we just launched what we call the Good Trouble Academy. You know, these boys, they like to play their video games, so they play a game called Grand Theft Auto, GTA, right? Y'all know that? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all got any teenagers that play video games in y'all life? Okay. So GTA, when I was growing up, please, I was raised by an abuela, that's a grandmother, right, from the Caribbean, who had mastered the art of the flying chancleta. Right? And so if she ever caught me playing GTA, there was a chancla coming my way. Right? And so I said, well, what do we need to do? We need to try to rebrand, right, what GTA is. Right? We need to try to make sure that our young men and women are actually understanding what it means to not just address these issues in debate and not just to talk about these issues, because in reality, and I'm an educator, y'all, so I know this, okay? In reality, most of our social studies programs are miseducating our children, and they're not doing them any justice in terms of actually encouraging, empowering, and enfranchising them with what it means to be getting into good trouble. So we took GTA and we said we're going to rename it. GTA now stands for the Good Trouble Academy. You all now, because you just said you got my back, are all now co-authors of the Good Trouble Academy. And what we are going to do, like, this is the challenge that Congressman John Lewis left us, is to say, how can we come up with new and innovative ways to reach our children, to teach our children, to empower and enfranchise them so that they feel emboldened to get into good trouble, right? And so together, collectively, we need to work with the League of Women Voters and all other organizations that are out here doing the work so that we can launch Good Trouble Academies all across our networks, yes? Right? Now, if you need somebody who is really loud and just extra energetic for no reason to come and speak to your students or your youth, I got your back, because you just asked me and I said I got your back. So you holler at me or Miss Keisha Beasley and she'll get you connected with me, and I'll come through and I'll explain to them in depth and detail what it means to get into good trouble, right? What it means to advocate for education, right? For voting rights. For all of these issues that we seem to be, look, I'm looking at all of the poster boards that we have right here. We got education and Medicaid and veterans benefits and SNAP, right? We have all of these issues here, okay? And John Lewis's Good Trouble, the coining of that phrase, good trouble, should serve as our moral compass, right, for how we continue to move forward. But again, I know I'm talking to you, but I'm really challenging you right now to make sure that the next one of these events that we go to, where we are empowering voters and educating each other, we have to drag somebody's niece, nephew, or little cousin with us. We have to bring the children with us. We have to become the models and the exemplars for what it means to speak out, to speak up, to stand up, and to get into good trouble. Otherwise, we just going to continue to be talking to each other about the same things over and over, and then guess what's going to happen? 10 years from now, they're going to be doing this event again, right? So now, we got to challenge each other. So I'm literally asking you this question right now, right? What are the ways that you are going to lead today to say, I need to teach a lesson? Look, if you don't need to come up with no lesson plan, I'm not challenging y'all to become like school teachers. But I need you to figure out how to teach a lesson to get somebody in your family to understand what the meaning of good trouble is, and then the stretch to that, the homework to that, the exit ticket to that would be, what's the action that follows? Right? What is the action that follows? So maybe that is making sure that we can show up as volunteers at polling stations to make sure that there is nothing happening with voter restriction, right? Maybe that means, right, defending and supporting our children who currently are afraid to attend schools because of what's happening with immigration, okay? Right, so whatever it is, we are willing right now to get ourselves into good trouble by making sure that we not just talk about it, but that we model what it means to get into good trouble so that our children, like James Baldwin taught us, they may not listen to us, but they'll never fail to what?
Imitate
us, right? And Congressman John Lewis walked alongside the Honorable, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., right? Who said and who's known for saying, if we can't fly, then run. And if we can't run, then walk. And if we can't walk, then crawl. But no matter what, we got to keep moving forward, right? We got to keep moving forward. So I want everybody to say, pa'lante.
Pa'lante.
It just means moving forward together. That's all I'm asking you to say. Some of y'all like, what? I don't know what that means. So say pa'lante. So
Pa'lante.
that means we're moving forward together. So keep on.
Keep on.
Keeping on.
Keeping on.
And now look at that partner that you was working with before and say, and let's get into
some
good trouble.
Some good trouble.
Say, and look, keep looking at them and say, if anything happens to you,
Everything happens to you,
just know, I got your back.
I got your back.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on behalf of Congressman John Lewis. Thank you.